Hey everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna break down those two scenes in After Effects. This is a beginner friendly tutorial, so even if you are a total beginner, you can follow up along. You can get all the assets and the project file from the link in the description down below. Thanks for watching in the first place and see you soon at the next one. So now, once we are in After Effects again, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start by making a new composition. Just make sure it's 1920 by 1080 and you have the frame rate set to 30. Then hit OK. Now we're gonna create a new solid layer. Then we're gonna apply some effects. We're gonna start by apply gradient ramp effect. Then we're gonna just keep it as it is. On top of this effect, we're gonna add a motion tail effect. Then we're just gonna increase those two values, the width and for the height. Then we're gonna apply a warp effect. From here, we're just gonna reduce this value, the bend value. It's a minus 40. And we can just hide this motion tail effect for now. After that, we're gonna add a turbulence displace effect. Then here, just follow my settings. So keep the displacement to set for turbulent, and for the amount we're gonna change the value to 60, and for the size we're gonna change it to, let's say, 800, and we're gonna animate the evolution going up. So to do this, we're just gonna hold Alt from the keyboard or Option for Mac, then hit evolution. Then here we're gonna type time start, let's say 100. After this, we're gonna apply a colorama effect. I did explain it last time, and it basically just apply this gradient flowing to this black and white. So those colors are distributed through the black and the white colors in this solid layer. So from here, we're just gonna go to modify and disable modify alpha, and you're gonna apply it again. And you see here, there is like a gap here. So to fix this, we're just gonna apply or enable motion blur again, and maybe move it here. We can reduce this value, maybe it's causing an issue. Yeah, like this. And we need to change those colors. So just select, for example, RGB, and from here we're gonna change the colors. So let's change this red color to this dark blue. Let's move this here, move this green down below, and we can change this color to lighter blue. Then again, we need to animate the phase shift going up, so it keeps like looping. We're just gonna do the same steps again. So just hold Alt from the keyboard, click on the phase shift, and you're gonna type this prompt or this command. I see there is an issue here, this line. I think to fix it, you're just gonna apply a blur effect. So let's try to add it now. And you can increase this value to something around 100. Yeah, perfect. Then lastly, you're gonna add some noise. So just apply noise HLS effect. Then from here, just gonna increase this value a tiny bit. Let's say 3, maybe 2. Yeah, that's enough. And we can make this color a bit darker. Now, once we are done with our background, let's go and add our text. So I'm gonna select the text tool, then I'm gonna type our text. We're just gonna move it to the center and resize it a bit. We're gonna reduce the opacity of the gradient background a bit. Maybe set it to 50. Alright, perfect. Now, once we have our text here, we can use the Text Explorer plugin. So we can separate each word into a separated layer. Just select words here and hit apply. It's a paid plugin. If you don't have it, just do it manually by duplicating and removing a part each time you duplicate the text. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna lock the background so you can't move it by mistake. Select those 3 words and move them to the left and remove those 2 to the right, like this. Now you're gonna add this glass template that I have. You can make it yourself by following Brick's YouTube tutorial. I'm gonna link it in the description down below. So I have this realistic blue eye glass. Let's move it here. Maybe you can resize it a bit, just like that. Perfect. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna select all 3, or we're gonna select all the layers and you're gonna link them to a null object. Then we're gonna go at the end and let's move this a bit to the right. Then we're gonna add a position keyframe at the end here. Then go right here before the last word is shown. Then we're gonna show the grids using Alt and the comma from the keyboard. Make a position keyframe here, move bit to the left, and you're gonna select, or we're just gonna move the null object so we can move everything to the right. Then go here again and move everything a bit to the right so everything is centered. You're gonna go here and do the same. You're gonna do the same here again. And here. And lastly, like this. Then you're gonna select all the layers and ease them. Then go to the graph editor and select all the handles, move them to the right. Then select them again and move all of those to the right. If it's a bit fast, you can make it slower by moving all the layers to the right and extending those keyframes. Nice. Now you're gonna add animation for each text. So we can add first a fill effect. Change the color to blue, lighter blue. Make a keyframe and bring it back to white. Then you can add a deep glow effect. Add a keyframe for the exposure. Then bring it back to 0 again. Then select both effects and go to the beginning of the second layer and apply them. And we're gonna do this here, 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 and here. Now we're gonna apply a position animation. So to do this, you're gonna apply the transform effect, add the position and opacity keyframes. Move them here. Then you're gonna go at the beginning and decrease the position, the Y position for the transform effect, and set the opacities to 0. So I'm gonna select all the keyframes and use the bouncer plugin. You can add a bounce effect like this. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna select the transform and the bouncer effects from the effects panel here, and we're just gonna apply them to all the text layers. Maybe one thing you can fix is changing this to a lighter blue, and we're gonna copy the effects and apply it for all the layers, all the text layers. And from there you can select the first keyframe for each layer for the fill effect and move it a bit earlier, maybe by just one frame. And you're gonna do the same for the exposure, but move them earlier. And maybe for the opacity, I'm gonna select all the opacity keyframes again and move them a bit earlier too. Yeah, I think that's better. Now we're gonna go inside this glass UI comp, just this realistic glass, and you can select the ellipse tool and you're gonna draw a circle here. So after we draw our circle here, it's gonna make sure it's 3D, and now we're gonna add our logo. You can add anything, you can just add this logo, and you're gonna link it with that circle on the back. Now you're gonna copy the transform effect from the text layer and apply it for this comp. Make sure to copy the bonus. Yeah, just like this. Now you're gonna make sure everything is 3D. And you're gonna add a new camera layer. Set the preset to 50mm. You're gonna link it with null object. Now you're gonna import our cursor. This one is made by me, but don't worry, I'm gonna link it with the project file assets in description down below, so you can get it over it. So we're just gonna scale it down a bit, maybe a bit more. Then you're gonna put it here on top of our logo. Then you're gonna link it with a null object and animate it going from the bottom here. Just gonna hit F9. And you're gonna add scale keyframe here, duplicate it 2 times, then get all the middle keyframe and decrease the scale value. Select all the keyframes and copy this graph. Then while holding Command or Control from the keyboard, gonna click 2 times on the keyframe in the center, like this. Now, once we clicked here, gonna go inside the previous comp. Then we're gonna add position keyframe here, move by 20 frames, and move this to the left, to the right, and maybe, yeah, just like this. Additionally, we're gonna add, or we're gonna create a rectangle there. Then make sure it's 3D, and you're gonna track matte it with this there, yeah. Then you're gonna apply a gradient ramp effect to move the black point here and the white point here. Then you're gonna go to the previous solid layer, the first one we did. Then you're gonna copy the color ramp effect and paste it here. And maybe you're just gonna play with it. And lastly, I would love to make the animation or the gradient moving from the left to the right, so just gonna add minus here. Yeah, perfect. Or you can add blur effect to make it blend well. Yeah, perfect. And lastly, we're just gonna make, or we can add a mask like this. Add a mask path using Command or Option and M from the keyboard. Then you're gonna go at the beginning before dot circle move, and you're gonna move the mask to the left and apply the same graph. So here we're just gonna increase the feather. Yeah, like this. So let's see how it looks. I'm just gonna move this cursor animation a bit earlier. And you can change this graph animation to this one. Continue inside the comp and move those keyframes here. Nice. Now once we reach here to this middle keyframe, you're gonna select the camera and another layer, and you're gonna split them. You're gonna stretch this bit, and you're gonna select the first null object, and you're gonna bring this forward. You're gonna bring this closer to the camera, maybe something like this. Let's move it a bit to the left. Perfect. Now you're gonna add a camera animation. So add another null object, move by 40 frames maybe, and move this to the left. And a null object, add a position keyframe here, and at the end, go at the end and move this to the left. So of the first keyframes, gonna add this graph, and for the last one, we're just gonna inverse it. So this graph, and move this keyframe a bit here. And if it's a bit early, we're just gonna move this bit here. Yeah, now it's perfect. And then you go to the first camera layer, and we're gonna add the zoom out effect or zoom out transition. So add the keyframe at the end for the position, then move at the beginning and bring it closer to the camera. Then apply the same graph. Lastly, here we're gonna add an adjustment layer, first box blur effect to it. Let's increase the value. Then you're gonna select the ellipse tool, draw a mask at the center here. Then you're just gonna invert it and increase the feather. And then you're gonna select this cone, and maybe you can make this animation a bit faster. Now let's preview it again. Maybe you can make this animation a bit faster because there isn't basically anything running on the screen. Perfect. Now this is the first scene, so let's go ahead and do the second one. Now for the second part of this scene, I'm gonna start by adding a solid layer. Then you're gonna apply a gradient ramp effect. The black one or the black color, you're gonna change it by the blue one, and you can remove these points on top and down here. And you're gonna add this Illustrator file, which has like the word map in Vector. So I'm just gonna enable the raster size, the continuous raster size option here. Maybe you can copy it and paste it here. Let's move it at the center and scale it a bit. You can use mine, or you can just go to, say, FreePic or VictEasy and search for world map. You can use one of those. Here's the one I did use. And you're gonna select this layer and go to the layer and select auto trace. And from this pop-up here, just gonna keep everything as it is. Maybe you're just gonna change the tolerance to 1, and you're gonna wait for some moment. Once it's done, you're gonna select those two layers, and you're gonna pre-compose them. They're gonna slide this pre-comp, and you're gonna add a new solid layer. Let's add a fill effect to it, and from here you're gonna select blue, and you're gonna add another grid layer or another solid layer and apply a grid effect to it. And you can change this a bit here like this, and you can reduce the opacity. Now you can add a new adjustment layer, and here you're gonna add CC sphere effect, and now it goes to work. You can increase the radius, and here just follow my settings. So for the radius, you're gonna change it to something around, let's say, 500. And for the light options, you can select or set the light intensity to 110. For the light height, you're gonna keep it as it is. For the light direction, Gonna change it to minus 40, and for the shading I'm gonna increase the ambient to something around 21, and we're gonna keep those same. For the specular option, maybe you can reduce it, maybe set to 0 if you don't need it. For the roughness, you're gonna keep it as it is, and you're gonna just keep everything as it is and just enable the internal shadows. And next up, you're gonna select this layer that we traced. Then you're just gonna apply the CC ball action effect to it, and you're gonna hide this one. Then select it again and just follow my settings. So you're gonna select the grid spacing to 2, and maybe decrease the space gradient. Let's say maybe something around 45. You're gonna set the color into crisp, maybe reduce the spacing a bit. Let's make shading minus 100, and from here maybe you can select RGB from here, and beside this you're just gonna keep everything as it is. Now let's go to the CC sphere effect again, and you're gonna add keyframes for the X, Y, and Z rotation, for the radius, and for the offset. Now hit U to see all the keyframes, and now let's get to work. So the first thing, we're gonna set the X rotation something around 15, let's say, and you're gonna spin this around to, let's say, 300. So it like one spin. I'm gonna move this radius here, and for the offset we don't need to move it at the moment. Then go here, then you're gonna move at the very beginning, and you can move everything or spin it to the right here. Then apply this graph and maybe move it a bit earlier here, like this. Perfect. Maybe you can make sure like so. After that you're gonna like zoom in the Euro part, so just make sure it's a bit centered so it's easier for us. Yeah, like this. Now you're gonna add another like adjustment layer and cut it just here, then apply a transform effect to it, add scale, move it here and scale it up to say 120, then apply the same graph so we have a smooth zoom out at the very beginning, and perfect. Maybe you can reduce the radius. Perfect. So we have this animation. Let's see how it looks at the main comp. Nice. Now you can add some clouds. So I have those ones. You can just Google it. It's a clouds PNG. Download just. We just need like 3 samples to use, or you can just get mine from the link in description down below. Position them right here, same like this. Then at the beginning, add the position for each one of them, each one of those clouds. Move this to the left, onto the right, this one to the right, and this one. Then add the same keyframes or graph move it a bit earlier, and so we have this one. You're gonna select the ellipse tool and check the fill, and you're gonna increase the stroke width. Then you're gonna draw a circle like this. Then you're just gonna keep it as it is. The only thing you're gonna do, you're gonna change the blending mode to overlay. You're gonna add a first box blur effect. I'm just gonna track mount it with which has this 3D earth, and just show it again. Another thing you can do, you're gonna select the ellipse tool again, and you're gonna check the fill and reduce the stroke. Draw a circle at the center here. Then you're gonna make it 3D, and you're gonna copy the same blur effect. Change the blending mode to overlay, and you're gonna reduce the opacity a bit, so we have this like reflection. Then you're gonna just duplicate it again. Remove this ellipse, and we can draw like a random shape here. Then make sure to track mount everything with this comp. I think it's perfect. Maybe like this shadow part is a lot, so we can reduce it, but we create this light high. Maybe it's perfect. And lastly, we're just gonna copy this camera with those null object layers. And maybe if this value is a bit over, we can adjust it a bit. And we can reduce this stroke a bit, just like this. Perfect. Before going to the next animation, maybe you can do some refinements here. For the discrete spacing, maybe you can, yeah, this makes like a whole difference. And discrete, it's a bit weird. Maybe you can reduce the opacity. That's perfect. And now let's move to the second part of the animation. So once we zoom out here, you can add zoom in effect, or zoom in for this 3D world. So we're just gonna do this through, or using the offset and the radius keyframes. So we're just gonna increase the radius and move it down and to the right here. And you need to keep like this moving. So we're just gonna add animation, hold Alt or Control and click on this keyframe. Maybe you can extend this comp a bit here. Nice. Now, after the zoom in, we're gonna hide this one and show the original, this layer, this illustrator layer. Then just gonna apply cherry tone effect to it and change this to blue. Nice. Then you're gonna add opacity keyframes here. So this one from 100 to 0, and the new one or the second one from 0 to 100. So you have like a smooth transition. Nice. Let's see how it looks. Maybe I'm gonna scale this. I think I move it a bit to the bottom, a bit more. And once you have the zoom in here, you can select those 3 shape layers that we add, the circles. Then you're gonna link them with a null object. Then you're just gonna move them here at scale keyframe 2 and scale them. And apply the same, like the same graph. Another thing we're gonna do, what we're gonna add, is you're gonna solo view this layer. Then you're gonna select the pen tool and draw shape or mask around the Europe part. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm not precise, so I'm just gonna draw a random mask here. I'm not sure if this part is part of for Europe, but anyways. I think this is part of Europe too. This one. Nice. Then you're gonna duplicate this layer and invert it. Now, for the inverted part of the mask, you're gonna do the opposite of it. And for this one, you're just gonna increase the feather. Let's increase the feather for the second one too. Then you're gonna remove the solo layer. Yeah, so we have this looks basically. And maybe you can just reduce the opacity a bit more. Let's say to 28. And perfect, yeah. Also, we're gonna add a text here. So let's type across Europe. I'm gonna use enter font. So you can reduce this to, let's say, right. And you can make this a bit bolder. Let's change the paragraph and set this to 11. Perfect. Save it at the center, and now it's done. For the text animation, just gonna use text highlighting preset. You can get it from the link in down below, or you can just make it your own by following Stephen tutorial. I'm gonna link it in the description down below. Let's enable a drop shadow and increase the softness, maybe decrease the opacity. Yeah, perfect. Now we reach to the, let's say, to the boolean part. So it's adding the flag. So you can just go search for any iOS kit on Figma. For example, I have this one. I mainly use this one like a lot. So you can find here on the menu part or the text selection, and I don't know. So just duplicate one of those and paste it here. Then remove everything like text and this arrow. Change the color to blue, and you can just set the text here to emojis. Let's say friends. So keep changing the flag. So duplicate it and change the flag again. Let's say Spain. So do this like multiple times, and you can just go here and export it make sure to select export here, so it's like the highest quality, and export as PNG and import it to After Effects. Or if you have like the Overlord plugin, you can just do it quickly. It's paid plugin. Select the elements you want to export to After Effects and hit this button so you have it imported here. So you can just use this directly. I'm just gonna use Overlord for all the layers, and even if you want like the highest quality, you can just separate it, like export this as a separated layers, so as shape layer, so it's like a bit, so it's like a higher quality. Then you're gonna go here and copy this notch and paste it here, move it at the bottom. Then you're gonna select this one, change the fill color, and remove this one. Then go to the Figma again, select only the flag and import this image and paste it here. Then you will have to link it again with this one and move it here. And after that you need to like position it on the right place. So this part basically gonna take you like longer, and for the sake of the tutorial I'm just gonna copy it from my original project file. So you have it here. And for this transition, it's taking a bit longer, so we're just gonna make it faster so it's smooth enough. See? And this bluish part is a bit more, so we're gonna reduce it. And this one too. Nice. Now I'm gonna paste all the flags that I have. You can just do it manually. This will take like longer, but I'm gonna select all. So we're just gonna link each flag with the shape layer that corresponds to it. Then you can select all the shape layers and link them with a null object. Then we're gonna move it here. Maybe you can move the anchor point on the center, so it's something like this. Make sure everything is ready. Then we're gonna go assign the 3D word comp. Then go here. Once like the thing starts turning, then go back here, out of position keyframe. Then move at the end. I think we need to extend it a bit, so it's something. Or we can extend our comp. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it. Like this. Go assign the comp again. You can make it a bit earlier here for the sake of the tutorial. And you're gonna remove all the flags. Let's take a look at the graph. Here you can add a keyframe here, and Just gonna keep it like linear path, like without any keyframes or any like graph working. Go here, I'm gonna move this bit here. Now we just need to fix it. Maybe moving this keyframe here. It needs to move like smoothly. Yeah, perfect. I think it's perfect like this. Lastly, you're just gonna add like a bunch of stroke. It's set to fill to transparent and set the stroke width to say 6. Change the color to blue. We're gonna start by drawing shape layers and lines like this between each country to reduce stroke width. From here, just gonna keep drawing. Set another one here, another one here. From England to Belgium, from Belgium to France again, from Spain to England, from France to Italy. So you just got the point. You're just gonna keep drawing lines between each country. Let's say you have only this one. Next up, you're gonna go to the content here, select all the shape layers, and you're gonna make group. Then select the main shape layer. Then here we're gonna type dashes, and I think we need to select all of them. Or yeah, I think we need to make it manually for each one. So let's say for the first one, we can make it 6. Then we're just gonna copy the dashes and paste it for each one. Then we're just gonna reduce the stroke width. Perfect. Now on the same point of the timeline, I'm just gonna link it with this null object, and it should be good to go. Maybe you're just gonna bring it earlier, and you can use the trim pack again, or the trim pack plugin to add it. Yeah, perfect. Maybe you're just gonna use the opacity to the half, and now it's done. Now let's preview the full animation. So this was the tutorial for today. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Let me know if you have any question in comment section down below. You can get the project file of the original video that I made for Moloch from the link in the description down below. You can find all the assets there as well. God bless you all. See you soon at the next one, and peace out.